Hi everybody. This screencast is designed to show you what you can do in a writer's memo screencast. So I'm using not an actual paper here, but an old school writer's memo, which my students used to do. They used to actually write about a page of a reflective statement for a writer's memo, but you're going to actually make a screencast like this. So I wanted to show you what you can do here and what I want you to do. Basically, in a writer's memo, what you're going to do is you're going to reflect on the decisions you made as a writer. So you might say to me, here I wanted to start talking about what happened during the writing process. So I began with this sentence. Okay, so here I'm just modeling this, right? Um, and then the other thing I want you to do is you're not only going to talk about what you actually say in your paper and how you made the decisions to say these things, but you might talk about weak spots. So you might say, the beginning of this second paragraph was really difficult for me. I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about at that point, or I wasn't sure what your assignment was asking for, so I thought I would just say something about how I got background on what we were going to be talking about. So do you get the idea? Basically, you're going to point me to specific spots in your essay and talk about how you think they went, whether or not they're strong parts of your essay, if there are weak parts of your essay. You can talk about those too. And the other thing I really want to make sure that you do here is that you refer to the grammar lesson. Every module contains a grammar break, right? And this one talked about sentence structure. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is point you to a comma splice. So I might, if I were the student, I might say, oh, in this sentence, after you working with the grammar book or working with the textbook, I realized that this here is a comma splice, right? This comma is incorrectly separating two independent clauses. That's an incorrect use of the comma. So here, what the student might then do is show me how they fix that, right? So they say, I found this helpful to get just some background on what I was going to be talking about, and I went back to this a few times during my writing process. So an and would work there. Also, a semicolon would work there as well, or you could turn that into two separate sentences. So the comma splice can be fixed in a couple different ways, and now by showing me this in your writer's memo, you've shown me that you understand what a comma splice is. You don't need to talk about every grammatical problem that you read about in the grammar break, but you need to show me at least one example. Even if you don't have any of the mistakes, show me in the writer's memo where a mistake might have been, or you could have done it wrong, but you did it correctly. Okay, so you should maybe take about 5 minutes to explain the grammar issue, or possibly less. Actually, this is only taking me about 3.5 minutes. So I would imagine your writer's memo for a longer paper should be about 5 minutes minimum, but you can take as long as you want. You could take up to 15 minutes to talk me through the paper, the decisions that you made, and problems that you feel you're having, and maybe some strengths. Maybe if there's some spots in the paper you're particularly proud of, you want to point me to those as well. So that's the writer's memo. Remember, you're not going to actually write a writer's memo, you're going to just do it as a screencast. So the paper that you would have up here, instead of it being the writer's memo, would actually be your final draft of the paper that you're working on at the moment. As always, let me know if you have any questions.